My name is Kelsey Shecker, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a fleece no-sew tie blanket. Now, these are very, very good gifts. You could just as easily go to the store and buy a throw, but you lose that personal touch to it. Something homemade means a lot more. Not to mention, you have a lot more options in the fact that you can choose the fabric and the colors and the patterns that go into it. Now, the first thing you need to do is you need to choose your fleece. I definitely recommend no-pill washable fleece for one. Definitely go to a specialty fabric store if there's one around. They do also have fabrics at your local Walmart, though I'm guessing the selection would be quite a lot less. There is also a lot at a Hobby Lobby or a Joann's craft store. I would recommend those. So you're going to have, since it's reversible, you need to pick out two colors or patterns. I recommend a pattern on at least one side, pattern on one side and a solid color on another. Looks very nice. You could do a pattern on both sides or a solid color on both sides. It's all about who you're going to be giving it to, what theme you're going with, what colors. So you have a lot of choice there that you can go into. So once you have chosen your fabrics, depending on whether or not at the place you are purchasing them, you might have to have them cut from a roll, or you might have pre-cut options. They do have those as well. Most pre-cut fabrics were going to come in 2-yard increments, so about 60 inches. If you want a larger blanket, I would suggest getting it cut to a length of 71 inches, which would be about as long as like a full-size bed. So they'll cut it there for you. They usually do a pretty good job. If there is a slight difference in edges, you might have to do a little bit of trimming yourself, which is why you're going to have a pair of these fabric scissors on hand. There's a lot of different types. They're not that expensive. I think I got these for about $5. So you can do all of your trimming with these. If you are trimming a lot in order to get the pieces even, you're probably also going to want some measuring tape. Once again, get them at any craft store, very, very cheap. So just to get your edges even. I mean, they don't need to be perfect. You're going to be cutting into them to make ties anyway, but it is easier to have the fabric smooth, both pieces even when you're doing it. The other thing you're going to need is a washable fabric pen. This one is a fine point disappearing ink. It's purple. They come in a lot of colors, but it doesn't matter the fact that it's purple if you're scared if you have like a white side or a light colored side and you're like, because this is going to look kind of dark on there, it's going to wash off. Hence why you definitely want to get the washable fleece, so that after you finished your blanket, you throw it in the wash before you give it to somebody, that all of that washable ink is going to disappear. So definitely very important. Don't use a Sharpie. Not a good idea. Definitely get one of these. Once again, get them at any local craft store, about $5–6. So when you get your fleece, you're going to want to put the two wrong sides together. When I say wrong sides, on a piece of fleece, there is going to be a very soft side, like that is like, it's going to look like this. I have a patterned one here, obviously, but the colors are going to be brighter. The other side is usually much more subdued color. It's pretty obvious once you have them. I actually have two patterns here, but here's the good side and the faded bad side. You're going to want to put those two sides together so that the good sides are facing out. You are going to want to put it flat. Get a big space on the floor. So lay it flat. Doesn't matter what side, which color is up or down. But so put those together on the floor. Get your edges together. This is where, if you need to do any little bits of trimming, this is where you're going to do it. So once that happens, once you get everything nice and neat, you're going to have your corners together. As you can see, these aren't completely even, but they're very close, and that's good enough, honestly. So what you need to do is you need to cut out your corners. The reason why is when you're making your cuts to go all the way around, as you can see, I already did this part so I could show you. If you don't cut into your corners, you're going to end up having a really weird shaped piece right here. So it's a lot easier to cut the corners out. So then the ties are gonna they're gonna look a lot cleaner, basically. Like for instance, finished, your edge will look like this. So that's what your goal is going to be there. So you're going to want to cut your corners out. Take your washable little marker here, take your measuring tape, measure, depending on how long you want your ties. I made mine 4 inches. So 4 inches square, mark that, and you're going to want to cut it out. So both pieces of fabric, not just one side. You need to cut them together. So you're going to cut that out, and it's going to make this kind of little square piece cut out there. At that point is when you're going to take your measuring tape and you're going to lay it flat against the edges, and you're going to start measuring in 1-inch increments. At every 1-inch increment, you're going to want to make a little mark with your washable marker along the entire edges of the blanket. And this is a part that might take a little while. And then since I made my ties 4 inches, you're going to want to go up, mark again 4 inches up, so that you're going to have marks where you're going to be doing your cuts there. So what we're going to have then is you're going to be able to take your scissors. Remember to be cutting both of your pieces of fabric together. Also be careful about whatever surface you're working on. And you're going to be cutting into this, right where these ties are going to be. Don't cut them out. Just cut in like this, right along the edges. You're going to be cutting like this along the 1-inch increments that you made. So you're going to go around the entire edges of the blanket that way. Now, once you have all of this cut out, which it will take a while, you might have some little serrated edges from the fabric. They sell the pieces like this. It's kind of inevitable. If you hate the way they look, you can go along and just snip them off. It's not 100% necessary, but it does make it look a little bit cleaner. So once you have that, you're going to want to go along the edges, take the ties, the pieces that you cut out, they're going to be one on top of the other like this, and all you need to do is you tie them together like so and pull that tight. That's all you need to do. You need to do it around the entire edges of the blanket. You don't have to double knot it even. If you want to, that's perfectly fine. You can. Your ties are long enough. And if you have the time, because honestly it is a bit of a time suck. So you can go along the entire edges of the blanket and just keep tying like so. Once you do that, you will have the finished product, which will be reversible. Here's my one side, and here's the other side, as you can see. So it's kind of cute. It's fun, especially since you can pick all these different colors. They're very soft. It's got a good look to it. And it makes a really great gift. You can just roll it up, put a ribbon around it, and you have a Christmas gift right there, or birthday, or whatever. Handmade, so don't even have to be a seamstress to do it. So there you have it. Now you can go ahead and get started on making your own.